What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Daniel and welcome back to our video. Today, I'm doing my updated 2025 NASCAR Cup Series winner predictions. I'm going to go through every single race and I'm going to tell you who I think will win each of these races in 2025. So anyways, let's go ahead and just jump straight into it. The 2025 NASCAR Cup season is going to kick off at Bowman Gray for the first time as hosting the Busch Light Clash. The last time it ran at Bowman Gray, Bobby Allison, I believe, was the winner. This time around, the driver I'm going to be picking to win at Bowman Gray is a driver who historically has been known to win at new facilities and new venues, and that is going to be Joey Logano. Joey Logano, like I said, known to winning new facilities, really good at short tracks, was one race at the Los Angeles Coliseum the first time he ran there. He, of course, has won other races. He won at North Wilkesboro this past year. I think Joey Logano is going to be really fast and strong, and the defending NASCAR Cup Series champion will be the driver who wins the Busch Light Clash at Bowman Gray. After a race at Bowman Gray, we'll be headed to Daytona National Speedway for the first points-paying race of the year, that being the Daytona 500. The winner in 2024 was William Byron, who picked up his 11th career NASCAR Cup Series victory. This time around, the driver I'm picking to win the Daytona 500 is going to be a driver who went winless in 2024, Kyle Busch. I think after not winning a race in 2024, I think Kyle Busch is going to be the winner of the Daytona 500. This is the last major race that Kyle Busch needs to win in order to complete all the Crown Jewel events. I think Kyle Busch is going to get it done. He's been really strong at super speedway tracks, really great at these types of tracks, and good at this track. I think Kyle Busch will finally be able to get that Daytona 500 win and victory in 2025. After the Daytona 500, we'll be headed to Atlanta Motor Speedway for the first of two trips at the track. The last time we ran the Atlanta Spring Race, we saw a three-wide photo finish between Ryan Blaney, Kyle Busch, and of course Daniel Suarez, with Daniel Suarez going to victory lane. This time around, the driver I'm picking to win at Atlanta Motor Speedway is going to be Brad Keselowski. I think Brad Keselowski is going to get his first and only victory of 2025 at Atlanta. Look, Brad Keselowski, one of the best super speedway racers in the NASCAR Cup Series field, really strong at this type of track, has come close to winning Atlanta multiple different times. I think Brad Keselowski is going to have the pace and speed, and I think he'll be the guy to go to victory lane and win the race at Atlanta Motor Speedway in 2025. After race Atlanta Motor Speedway, we'll be headed to Circuit Americas, which moves a little bit earlier in the season. The last time I ran a Circuit of the Americas, and there's also going to be a new configuration at this track. The last time I ran at this track, we saw William Byron pick up, I believe, his second victory of 2024. This time around, the driver I'm picking to win at Circuit of the Americas is going to be Shane Van Gisbergen. I think it's going to be the first of multiple victories that SVG is going to have throughout the 2025 season. Shane Van Gisbergen has experience, almost won the Xfinity Series race here in 2024. Probably should have won the race, was really fast here in this past year. I think SVG is going to be the guy to beat, and I think he'll bring the number Trackhouse team up to the front. Trackhouse has also been really good at this track historically. I think SVG will win the race at COTA. After races Circuit Americas, we'll be headed to Phoenix Raceway for the first of two trips at the track. The last time we ran a spring race at this track, Chris Bell put up a dominating clinic near the end of the race and picked up his first win of 2024. This time around, the driver picking to win at Phoenix Raceway is going to be a teammate of Christopher Bell's. I am picking Chase Briscoe to get his first win of 2025 at Phoenix. A couple reasons I'm picking him for this one. Number one, Chase Briscoe, really good at Phoenix. Number two, the 19 car was really strong at this track this past year with Martin Truex Jr. and Joe Gibbs Racing has figured this track out in the next gen era. I think that Chase Briscoe is going to have the pace and speed and gets his first win with Joe Gibbs Racing at this track in 2025. After a race at Phoenix Raceway, we'll be headed to Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the first of two trips at the track as his day moves a couple weeks later into the season. The last time we ran a spring race at this track, we saw Kyle Larson put up a dominant clinic, hold off a hard-charging Tyler Reddick to pick up the victory. This time around, the driver I'm picking to win the spring race at Las Vegas Motor Speedway is once again going to be Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson has probably been the best driver, at least in the next-gen era, at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Has won here twice in the next-gen era, has always been really good at this track, always runs up front on a very consistent basis. I think that Hendrick will bring the pace and speed once again. And with how great Kyle Larson's been at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, I think he'll get his first win of 2025 in his 30th career NASCAR Cup Series win and victory as well. After race at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, we'll be headed to Homestead Miami Speedway as the date moves to a really early portion of the year as the track is trying to host a season finale down the road. The last time we ran near Homestead Miami Speedway, we saw a really fantastic race, and we saw Tyler Reddick make the last lap pass and advance his way to the championship four. This time around, the driver in the pick and win at Homestead Miami Speedway is once again going to be Kyle Larson. I think Kyle Larson is going to go back-to-back and win at Homestead Miami Speedway. Kyle Larson, really great at this track. I think he's nearly led 1,000 laps in the NASCAR Cup Series career up to this point. Larson's going to be really strong at this track like always. I think they're going to bring the pace and speed. I think Kyle Larson will be able to bring it and win at Homestead Miami Speedway for the second time in his NASCAR Cup career at this point. After racing Homestead Miami Speedway, we'll be headed to Martinsville Speedway. The last time we ran a spring race at Martinsville Speedway, we saw William Byron basically come from the back of the field and end up going to victory lane and get the win on Hendrick's 40-year anniversary. This time around, the driver in the pick and the win at Martinsville Speedway is once again going to be William Byron. William Byron isn't as strong in the fall race of this track, but in the spring race, for whatever reason, he is amazing at this racetrack. He's always up front, always contending. 2 of his 13 Cup wins have come at this track. I think William Byron's going to be continuing to be really strong like he's always been in the spring race, and I think the Hendrick Motorsports will have the speed. I think William Byron will go to victory lane at Martinsville in the spring race once again in 2025. After race at Martinsville Speedway, we'll be headed to Darlington Raceway for the first of 2 trips as the throwback race moves to late April of this year. The last time we ran a throwback race, we saw Brad Keselowski end his winless streak and go to victory lane for the first time since Talladega in 2021. This time around, the driver in picking to win at Darlington Raceway is going to be Tyler Reddick. Tyler Reddick has always ran really, really well at this racetrack, but he has not been able to get that victory that he's been so key into looking for. But I think it's finally going to happen for Reddick. Reddick's been really great here, shows always some really fast pace and speed, leads a ton of laps, is a track that he's very good at. I think the 2311 is going to bring the pace and speed, and I think that he'll be able to be the guy to go to victory lane at Darlington Raceway in 2025. After race at Darlington Raceway, we'll be headed to Bristol Motor Speedway for the first of 2 trips at the racetrack. The last time we ran at Bristol Motor Speedway, we saw a really fun tire race, and we saw Denny Hamlin go to victory lane. This time around, the driver picking to win at Bristol Motor Speedway is once again going to be Denny Hamlin. I think Denny Hamlin, how great he's been at Bristol, and with the track probably going to be in similar conditions to how it was in 2024, I think he's going to go to victory lane. However, I think this is going to be Denny Hamlin's only win of 2025. Look, Denny Hamlin's going to start regressing in a lot of ways. I still like I said, I still think he is going to win a race before the end of 2025, and I think it's going to happen early in the year, but I just don't see him being the guy to get it done and win the championship at contend, but I think he will be able to go to victory lane at Bristol Motor Speedway. After race at Bristol Motor Speedway, we'll be headed to Talladega Super Speedway for the first of 2 trips at the track. The last time we ran the Talladega Spring Race, we saw Tyler Reddick pick up his first victory of 2024. This time around, the driver in picking to win at Talladega Super Speedway for the Spring Race is going to be Ryan Blaney. I think Ryan Blaney is going to get his first of many victories at this track in 2025. Ryan Blaney's really good at Talladega Super Speedway. Basically, a third of his Cup wins up to this point have come at this track, and I think it's going to continue once again. He's one of the best Super Speedway racers in the NASCAR Cup Series field. I think Team Penske is going to bring the pace and speed that they're going to need. I think he gets it done, and I think Ryan Blaney will be the guy to go to victory lane. I'm picking him to win at Talladega Super Speedway. After race at Talladega Super Speedway, we'll be headed to Texas Motor Speedway for the first and only time in 2025. The last time we ran here, we saw Chase Elliott end his winless streak and pick up his only win of 2024 at this track, and the final win for Hooters as well. This time around, the driver in picking to win at Texas Motor Speedway is going to be Kyle Larson. Look, Kyle Larson had the dominant car in the early portion of the race. If it had not been for that tire issue, Kyle Larson probably goes on and dominates that race, and we don't see Chase Elliott get a victory at all in 2024. I think Kyle Larson's going to have the pace and speed. I think the car was super, super strong last year. He's always been really good at Texas Motor Speedway. Larson's led a lot of laps here. I think Kyle Larson will be the guy to beat, and I think he will go to victory lane at Texas Motor Speedway in 2025. After races Texas Motor Speedway, we'll be headed to Kansas Speedway for the first of 2 trips at the racetrack. The last time we ran in Kansas for the spring race, we saw a great photo finish between Chris Buescher and Kyle Larson, with Kyle Larson going on to win the race. This time around, the driver picking a win at Kansas Speedway is a driver who's been always very strong at Kansas Speedway. I'm going to go with Christopher Bell to pick up his first of multiple victories in 2025 at Kansas. Christopher Bell had the fastest car in the fall race, really strong, but they lost the handle on the car in the second half of the event. I don't think that's going to happen this time around. I think he's going to be strong enough. I think that they're going to bring the pace and speed this time around to the facility. I think Christopher Bell finally wins a cup race at Kansas. I'm going with him to pick up the win and pick up the victory at Kansas Speedway in 2025. After race at Kansas Speedway, we'll be headed to North Wilkesboro for the All-Star race. The last time we ran the All-Star race, we had introduction of the new tires, and we also saw Joey Logano pretty much lead every single lap and go on to win the race, but the only memorable thing coming from the fight that took place after the race concluded. This time around, the driver picking to win the All-Star race in 2025 is going to be Chase Elliott. I think Chase Elliott is going to get the All-Star victory. Look, Chase Elliott, very, very good in North Wilkesboro, I believe, this past year. Really good short track racer. We know Hendrick Motorsports has always been pretty good at this track, going back to the days when they were around in the 80s and the 90s and the 2000s, well, the late 2020s as well. I think that Chase Elliott gets it done, and I think Hendrick's going to bring the speed. I'm going with Chase Elliott to win the All-Star race in 2025. After the All-Star race concludes, we'll be headed to Charlotte Motor Speedway for the traditional Coca-Cola 600. And this also will be the first prime event for 2025 and the first Stream Cup Series race ever. The last time we ran the Coke 600, we saw Christopher Bell pick up the victory as the race ended early. This time around, the driver picking to win the Coca-Cola 600 in 2025 is going to be Ross Chastain. I think Ross Chastain is going to get his first of 2 victories of 2025 here. He's been very, very good at the Coke 600 in the past. Had a dominant car in 2022. Looked like he was going to go and pick up a very easy win and get it done. Trackhouse also has really good speed on the 1.5 miles. I think they're going to bring the pace and speed, and I think that Ross Chastain will be the guy to go to victory lane. I'm picking him to win the Coca-Cola 600 in 2025. After the Coca-Cola 600 concludes, we'll be headed to Nashville Super Speedway as the track moves a little bit earlier in the year in early June. The last time we ran in Nashville, we saw a kind of chaotic event, and Joey Logano was able to pick up the win and be able to pick up the victory. This time around, the driver picking a win at Nashville Super Speedway is going to be the sponsor car, Alex Bowman. I think Alex Bowman at the Ally 400 is finally going to win the Ally race. Alex Bowman has been solid at Nashville, but hasn't been great. However, I think Alex Bowman is going to be consistent throughout the year, and I think he's going to be good at this track. We've seen the car be good at times at tracks like this. I think Alex Bowman is going to have the pace and speed. I think Hendrick is going to bring the pace and speed, definitely, and I think that he'll be the one to get it done. I'm going with Alex Bowman to pick up the win at Nashville Super Speedway. After a race in Nashville, we'll be headed to Michigan International Speedway as it moves from August all the way to the middle of June. The last time we ran this race, we saw the race get rain delayed to Monday, one of the few rare ones that ended up happening throughout the year, and we saw Tyler Reddick put up a pretty dominating end into the event and pick up his second victory of the 2024 season. This time around, the driver picking a win at Michigan International Speedway is going to be a driver who hasn't won since 2022, and that is Bubba Wallace. I think Bubba Wallace is going to get back to victory lane for the first and only time of 2025. Bubba Wallace has always been really good at Michigan. He had the fastest car in the early portion of 2024 before unfortunately getting taken out in the middle portion of the race. I think 2311 is going to bring a pace and speed this time around to make sure he gets it done. After not winning the last couple of years we've been at this track, I think he finally gets it done. I think that Bubba Wallace will be the guy to go to victory lane, and I think he will be the driver that wins the race at Michigan's International Speedway in 2025. After a race in Michigan, we'll be headed to Mexico City, which will be the first international NASCAR Cup Series race, I believe, since 1959. The last time a series ran here on the NASCAR circuit, we saw Kyle Busch win the NASCAR Xfinity Series race at this track. This time around, the driver I think is going to win in Mexico City is someone who I would not be surprised runs the NASCAR Xfinity Series race at the track, but I am going to be picking Chase Elliott to pick up his first points-paying victory of 2025 at Mexico City. Chase Elliott, one of the best road course racers in the field. I know he has not been as strong on the road courses in the next-gen era, but I think the Hendrick Motorsports is going to be fast here. They've been really good at road courses. We know they're strong at these types of tracks and really good here. I think he's going to be able to be the guy that gets the first win at Mexico. He's also been good at winning first races at these tracks. I think Chase Elliott will be the guy to go and pick up the win and get the victory at Mexico City in 2025. After a race in Mexico City, we'll be headed to Pocono Raceway for the first and only time in 2025, and the race moves a couple weeks earlier in the season. The last time we ran at Pocono, we saw Ryan Blaney pick up his second victory of the 2024 season. This time around, the driver I'm going to be picking to win at Pocono International Raceway is going to be Ty Gibbs. I think Ty Gibbs is finally going to pick up his first career NASCAR Cup Series victory in 2025. Historically, it usually takes the third year for drivers to win. Harrison Burton did that in 2024, and Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson both did that in 2016. It's the near years they came in as well. I think Ty Gibbs is going to come in and win. He's been always good at Pocono. I think that Ty Gibbs will be the guy to go and pick up the win and get the victory for the first time in his NASCAR Cup career in 2025. After a race at Pocono, we'll be headed to Atlanta Motor Speedway as the race moves to late June in 2025. The last time we ran the Atlanta race, we saw Joey Logano pick up the win and get the victory at the track. This time around, the driver winning the Saturday night race at Atlanta Motor Speedway is going to be none other than Joey Logano. Joey Logano, very, very good at Atlanta. He's won 2 races in the next-gen era at this track. I think he's up there as one of the winningest drivers in the new Atlanta. He's always been really, really great here. I think Team Penske is going to bring the pace and speed, and I think Joey Logano will be the guy that could pick up the win. I'm going with him to win the race and get the victory in the crown win at Atlanta Motor Speedway in 2025. After race Atlanta Motor Speedway, we'll be headed to the Chicago Street Course for what could be the final Chicago Street Course event to take place. The last time we ran the Chicago Street Course, we saw Alex Bowman pick up his first and only victory of 2024. This time around, the driver picking a win at the Chicago Street Course is going to be none other than Shane Van Gisbergen. I think Shane Van Gisbergen is going to get his second and final victory of 2025 at Chicago. He, of course, won the inaugural race in 2023 and had arguably the fastest car in the early portion of the race in 2024, before unfortunately getting taken out by Chase Briscoe near the end of the event. I think that also with him being with Trackhouse, the cars are going to be quicker and much faster, and I think they're going to bring the pace and speed. I'm going with Shane Van Gisbergen to pick up the win and the victory at Chicago in 2025. After race at Chicago, we'll be headed to Sonoma Raceway as this race moves to a later portion of the season in 2025. The last time we ran at Sonoma Raceway, we saw Kyle Larson dominate the race and pick up the win and the victory. This time around, the driver I'm going to be picking to win at Sonoma Raceway is going to be a driver who's been really strong at this track, Chris Buescher. I think Chris Buescher is going to get his first and only victory of 2025, but I think Buescher is going to be really strong, consistent throughout the year, and like I said, he's always been good at Sonoma. Almost won the race in 2022 and came close to winning the race in 2024. I think Buescher is going to be fast enough. I think he's going to be quick enough. I think of how good he's been on road courses, he's pretty underrated at these types of tracks. I think Chris Buescher will be the guy to definitely pick up the win and go to victory lane at Sonoma in 2025. After race at Sonoma Raceway, we'll be headed to Dover International Speedway as the race moves from late April to early May, all the way to late July going into August. The last time we ran at Dover, we saw Denny Hamlin hold off a charging Kyle Larson, which is the most recent race that Denny Hamlin has gone to victory lane at. This time around, the driver who I'm going to be picking to win at Dover Motor Speedway is going to be, once again, Kyle Larson. I think Kyle Larson is going to get a second NASCAR Cup Series victory at this track. This is one of Kyle Larson's best tracks on the NASCAR circuit. He's always very fast here, was very strong here in 22 and 2023 and all the other races here. He just hasn't been able to win in the next-gen era. I think that's going to change this time around. I think Hendrick will be quick enough to do it. I think Kyle Larson will be the guy to win. I'm picking him to win this time around at Dover Motor Speedway in 2025. After a race at Dover, we'll be headed to Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the 2025 Brickyard 400, the second year in a row they've ran this race. The last time we ran the Brickyard 400 in 2024, we saw Kyle Larson win and get redemption after not having a chance to complete the double in 2024. This time around, the driver picking to win the Brickyard 400 in 2025 is going to be none other than Ryan Blaney. I think Ryan Blaney is going to get his second win of 2025 at this track. Ryan Blaney came very, very close to winning the Brickyard 400 in 2024, and I think he gets redemption this time around. I think Penske, especially with how great they've been here in the Indianapolis 500s, I think they're going for their 20th Indy 500 win in 2025. I think Blaney's going to be fast enough and quick enough, and I think that he'll be the guy to watch out for. I'm going with Ryan Blaney to win the 2025 Brickyard 400. After race at the Brickyard 400, we'll be headed to Iowa Speedway as the race moves from early June all the way to early August, which will be the weekend of the Knoxville Nationals. The last time we ran here, we saw Ryan Blaney pick up the win and pick up the victory and get it done. This time around, the driver picking to win at Iowa Speedway is going to be the driver who came very close to winning this race in 2024, and that was Kyle Larson. I think Kyle Larson is going to get redemption as he had the fastest car in this event in the early portion in 2024, only to get taken out in the first or second stage of the event after Daniel Suarez made a big mistake going in the corner. I think Larson gets redemption. I don't think he's going to make a mistake this time around. I think Hendrick will bring the pace and speed for him to be up front in the event. He's going to continue his dominant run in the second half of the year. I think Kyle Larson will be the guy to go to victory lane and win at Iowa Speedway in 2025 once again. After race at Iowa Speedway, we'll be headed to Watkins Glen as it moves back to a traditional August day after being in September because of the playoffs in 2024. The last time we ran at Watkins Glen, we saw a fantastic race between Chris Buescher and Shane Van Gisbergen, with Chris Buescher picking up his first and only win and picking up his sixth career NASCAR Cup Series victory. This time around, the driver I'm going to be picking to win at Watkins Glen is going to be Chase Elliott. I think Chase Elliott is going to get back to victory lane at Watkins Glen. The last time Chase Elliott actually won at Watkins Glen was, of course, back in 2019, holding off a hard-charging Martin Truex Jr. I think he's going to get redemption. Chase Elliott's been really, really good at Watkins Glen. We know he's been very fast at this track. I think he's going to be quick enough to be up front throughout the event. I think Chase Elliott will be the guy to watch out for, and I think he will go to victory lane. I think Chase will get his second points-paid win of 2025. After a race at Watkins Glen, we'll be headed to Richmond Raceway for the only time in 2025 as they lost their date to Mexico City. The last time we ran this event, we saw a very controversial finish where Austin Dillon not only dumped Joey Logano, but Denny Hamlin to pick up the win. This time around, the driver going to be picking to win at Richmond Raceway is going to be Christopher Bell. I think Christopher Bell is going to get his second win of 2025 here. Look, people talk about how Austin Dillon had the fastest car in the event, and I don't really think that was true. If you look at the stats, the fastest car was Christopher Bell, got a speeding penalty near the end of the event. I think he doesn't have that this time around. I don't think he's going to make the mistakes that the team made. I think he's going to be very strong and fast enough to get it done. He's always been really good at Richmond, that being Christopher Bell. I think they bring the pace and speed they're going to be needed to get up there and win. I'm going with Christopher Bell to win the race at Richmond in 2025. After a race at Richmond, we'll be headed to Daytona International Speedway for the final regular season points race of 2025. The last time we ran the summer race at Daytona, Harrison Burton picked up a very shocking win, which unfortunately lost his seat because he's going to race in the 15 car replacing Hailie Deegan next year. This time around, the driver we're going to be picking to win at Daytona International Speedway is going to be William Byron. William Byron is one of the most underrated super speedway racers in NASCAR today. He won the Daytona 500. He's got 2 wins at Daytona, has 2 wins at Atlanta, and has always been up front at Talladega Super Speedway. We know Hendrick's always good at this track too. They've always won a lot of races here. I think William Byron is going to have the pace and speed. I think Hendrick's going to bring what they need. I think William Byron will be the guy to pick up the win and go to victory lane. I'm going with William Byron to win the race at Daytona for the cutoff race in 2025. After race at Daytona, we'll be headed to the Southern 500 to kick off the playoffs for 2025. The last time we ran a Southern 500, Chase Briscoe picked up a second career NASCAR Cup Series win in victory, and which was Stewart-Haas Racing's final win as an organization. This time around, the driver picking to win the Southern 500 in 2025 is going to be Tyler Reddick once again. I think Tyler Reddick is going to win his first Crown Jewel event that he's ever been able to pick up at this point. Tyler Reddick's been always good in the Southern 500. We talked about with Darlington, always great at Darlington, but I think he will get the Southern 500 win finally. He's been good enough to get it done. We know he's really great at this track, and I think that 2311 will bring the pace and speed for him to be up front and pick up the win. So I think he gets it done. I'm going to go with Tyler Reddick to winning the 2025 Southern 500. After race Southern 500, we'll be at Worldwide Technology Raceway, also known as Gateway, as the date moves from the early portion of June all the way to the middle of September in 2025. This time around, when we come to this track, the last time we ran here, we saw basically a shocking win with Austin Center go up and picked up the win. This time around, the driver picking to win at Worldwide Technology Raceway is going to be Ryan Blaney. I think Ryan Blaney is going to pick up his third points-paying victory of 2025 here. Ryan Blaney has never won a cup race at Gateway, but he's always running up front and is consistently up front contending for the wins and victories. I think Ryan Blaney will have a car capable of getting it done. Team Penske always, for some reason, runs really, really great at this track. I think he's going to be a major threat and contender, and I think that Ryan Blaney will be able to pick up the win and get his third win of 2025 at Gateway. After race at Gateway, we'll be headed to Bristol Motor Speedway for the cutoff race of the round of 16. The last time we ran at Bristol for the cutoff race, Kyle Larson put up an absolute destroying clinic and led over 460 laps, which is the most anyone's led at Bristol since 1977. This time around, the driver picking a win at Bristol Motor Speedway is shockingly actually going to be Chase Briscoe. Chase Briscoe has been very solid at Bristol Motor Speedway, but you're probably a little bit surprised to see me pick him. But I think he's going to be the guy to beat at this track. I think Briscoe was very good here in 2024, really good here in 2023, and Briscoe's always been up front at Bristol in the past, especially in the Xfinity Series competition too, when he of course drove for Stewart Haas Racing. But I think Joe Gibbs Racing is going to bring the pace and speed for him to be up front. I think he will get it done. I think that Chase Briscoe will be the guy to go and win and get his second win of 2025 at this track. After race at Bristol Motor Speedway, we'll be headed to New Hampshire Motor Speedway as the date moves from the middle of July and June all the way to the beginning of late September, going into the beginning of October. The last time we ran New Hampshire Motor Speedway, we saw the use of wet weather tires, and we saw Christopher Bell pick up a dominating win and victory. This time around, the driver picking a win at New Hampshire Motor Speedway is once again going to be Christopher Bell. I think Christopher Bell is going to continue his dominance at New Hampshire. He's won here twice before NASCAR Cup competition. He's always really good at the shorter ovals. Joe Gibbs Racing historically has been amazing at this track. I think they get it done. I think they're going to bring it to this track. I think that Christopher Bell will have the pace and speed, and I think he will go to victory lane in the first fall race that we've seen in New Hampshire since around 2014 or 2017 or 2018. I'm going with Bell to get it done. After racing New Hampshire Motor Speedway, we'll be headed to Kansas Speedway for the second of two trips at the track. The last time we ran the fall race at Kansas Speedway, we saw Ross Chastain pick up a pretty shocking victory and win after getting it late in the event. This time around, the driver going to be picking to win at Kansas Speedway for 2025 in the fall race is once again going to be Ross Chastain. I think Ross Chastain is going to continue his mile-and-a-half dominance, and I think he will go to victory lane at this track. He's been very, very good at the mile-and-a-half. We know Trackhouse is a really strong mile-and-a-half program, and Ross honestly been really good at Kansas in the past, going back to his truck days as well. I think he's going to be quick enough to definitely do it for sure. They're going to bring the pace and speed they really, really need. I go with Ross Chastain to pick up the win, and I think Trackhouse will continue being pretty good throughout 2025 with him going to victory lane. After race at Kansas Speedway, we'll be headed to the Charlotte Roval for what could be the final Charlotte Roval race we see ever. The last time we ran the Charlotte Roval in the NASCAR Cup Series, we saw Kyle Larson dominate the race and pick up his final victory of 2024, which was his sixth win. This time around, the driver picking to win the Charlotte Roval Cup race in 2025 is going to actually be AJ Allmendinger. I think AJ Allmendinger will not be fast through a majority of this season because they're not going to be strong on a lot of these other types of tracks. But one type of track we know AJ is really good at is the road courses. And I think that the team is going to bring the speed they really, really need to get it done, at least at the Charlotte Roval. I think he'll pick up what will be, I believe, his fourth career NASCAR Cup Series victory. He's always been good at the Roval, won here in 2023. I think he'll get it done. I think he's going to be quick enough and fast enough for sure. I think AJ Allmendinger picks up his fourth career NASCAR Cup Series victory at the Charlotte Roval in 2025. After race the Charlotte Roval, we'll be headed to Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the first race of the round of 8. The last time we ran the fall race at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, Joe Logano put up a fuel-saving win and got it done at Las Vegas Motor Speedway with the number 22 team. This time around, the driver picking to win at Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the fall race is going to be, once again, like in the spring race, Kyle Larson. I think Kyle Larson is going to sweep the races for, I believe, the first time since maybe, I don't remember the last time someone swept the race at Las Vegas, but I think Larson is going to sweep them. Larson's been really good at Las Vegas, one of his best tracks, always up front, one of the better average finishes at this racetrack and the facility. I think Hendrick will be good enough to definitely do it for sure. I'm going to go with Kyle Larson to pick up the win and pick up the victory at Las Vegas Motor Speedway and lock his way to the championship four once again. After race at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, we'll be headed to Talladega Superspeedway as the date moves into the round of 8 for the first time ever. The last time we ran at Talladega Motor Speedway for the race in the summer, or the fall race I should say, we saw Ricky Stenhouse Jr. pick up the final win for the JTG before they rebranded the Hayek Motorsports. This time around, the driver picking a win at Talladega Superspeedway is going to be none other than Chase Elliott. I think Chase Elliott is going to win at Talladega Superspeedway like he's done twice before. Chase is always really good at Talladega. Always really good at this track, just like his father was. He's got 2 Cup wins at this track. Hendrick's always really, really great here. There's always up front. They're contending for wins. If he does get caught up in a wrecking incident, I think he's going to survive. I think Chase Elliott will definitely have the speed, and I'm going to go with Chase Elliott to pick up the win and get the victory in 2025 at Talladega Superspeedway with Hendrick Motorsports. After race at Talladega Superspeedway, we'll be headed to Martinsville Speedway for the second to last race of the NASCAR Cup Series season. The last time we ran here, Ryan Blaney picked up a clutch victory and got himself to the Championship 4, and we saw a lot of really big controversy and manipulation that happened right behind the leaders. This time around, the driver going to be picking to win at Martinsville Speedway is going to be Chase Elliott once again. I think Chase Elliott is going to go back-to-back and pick up his 4th win of 2025. Chase Elliott always good at Martinsville. Very, very good at this track. Always running up front. I don't remember the last time Hendrick swept the races at the facility, but I think that you're going to see them sweep this time around. I think that Chase Elliott is going to be quick enough this year. It's going to be a resurgent year for Chase Elliott. I think he'll be good enough to do it for sure. I'm going to go with Chase Elliott to pick up the win and get his 4th victory of 2025 in the NASCAR Cup Series this year. And finally, the last race in 2025 will take place at Phoenix, which will be the championship race unless they change the championship format in 2025. The last time we ran the championship race, we saw Joey Logano put up one of the most controversial wins in NASCAR Cup Series history, with him going to victory lane and winning the championship despite having one of the worst seasons for a champion ever. This time around, the driver going to win is still in the Team Penske stable, but it's not going to be Joey Logano. Instead, I am picking Ryan Blaney as of now to not only win the race, but the championship. I think Ryan Blaney is going to go to victory lane at Phoenix. He's always ran really great here. He's never won a NASCAR Cup race at this track, though I do think he has an Xfinity Series win here. But I think Ryan Blaney is going to be great. Team Penske's always figured it out. They're always really, really great at Phoenix, and they've won the last 3 championships in a row until they change the season finale track. I don't think anything's going to change. I'm going to go ahead and say it. Ryan Blaney will be your 2025 Cup champion and will win it all together. So, those are my 2025 NASCAR Cup Series winner predictions. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notifications on, so if I win a video, it does go live on my channel. Follow me Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. Let's get you more of that and comment your picks below for 2025. What are your 2025 NASCAR Cup winner predictions? Let me know them in the comments below. Tomorrow on the channel, you're going to see a NASCAR news video, the first official news video of 2025. Saturday, we'll probably be doing the top 10 race teams and the Formula 1 driver lineup as well. Sunday is going to be the 2025 NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series winner predictions on the channel. And on Monday, there'll probably be something else dropping. I'll probably be doing the Chili Bowl intros this weekend. We'll just have to wait and see what comes out on the channel. Got a lot of great content dropping. Top up people like Haley Deegan, Carl Edwards, Shane Van Gisbergen, Connor Zilch, Kurt Busch, Bubba Walsh, Chandler Smith, Sam Mayer, Eric Almirola, lawsuits, AJ Allmendinger, all this stuff, Cole Custer, all those types of people and everything that will be coming out on the channel as we get closer to the start of the year in junior motorsports as well, and the lawsuit Michael Jordan as well. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for more great awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.